Locks of hair, a single candle holder, 2 pennies from the 1920s, and a small statue with the Hebrew word peace inscribed. Like for part 2.
This is why you should never talk to strangers in an elevator. One day, a surgeon was working the night shift at a hospital. He just finished this operation on a patient and was going to the basement. He entered the elevator and there was one other woman already inside. They were casually chatting when the elevator door opened and another woman was about to enter. But the surgeon looked horrified. He quickly slammed the close button and punched the highest floor of the building. Surprised, the woman asked why he was being so rude and wouldn't let the other woman in the elevator with them. The surgeon explained that in this hospital, all patients wear white wristbands with their names printed on them, but the red wristbands are placed on all of the corpses. The surgeon then looks to the woman in the elevator with him and says, "That was the same woman I just operated on. She died on the operating table. Didn't you see the red wristband she was wearing?" The woman in the elevator with him just smiled, raised her arm, and said, "You mean like this one?"
Okay, sir, what's the location of the body? In the middle of nowhere. Perfect place. Just look for a truck. Hey, a corpse. Are you with the deceased now, sir? I am the deceased. Excuse me?
Scary Things You Say Part 23. My son said to me, "Remember when I was Uncle Maury?" That was my brother. His name was Maury. He died when he was 33 and my son was born 5 years later. When I was little, over a year old, my mom was walking down the stairs. I told her, "Be careful, Mommy. That's how my husband died." What the heck? Babies know everything. I was 5. I found it out because my little brother talked to me, but no one believes me. He said, "I know your pain." I was screaming. My son was 3.5 years when he told me how much I was crying for a baby. He'd say, "God told me to wait because it wasn't my time." This is so I find it fascinating, actually, not scary. Mine asks why the little boy that lives with us is always sad. I had a miscarriage prior to having him. Oh, this is so sad. My 6-year-old niece once asked, "Where were we before we were here?"
This is why you should never try using a Ouija board. My friends and I decided to play with a Ouija board after work in our office and spoke to a girl named Quinn. She didn't say much but seemed friendly enough, but when I mentioned my girlfriend, she got super mad and protective of me. When it got to 2 a.m, we said goodbye to her, but about a week later, in the middle of the night, the office block that we worked in burnt down. It creeped us all out, so a week later we used the Ouija board again near a lake and asked for Quinn. When we got through to her, we asked if she started the fire, to which she responded, yes. About 2 weeks later, I was driving to my girlfriend's house with the board in the back of the truck. I didn't know it at the time, but my girlfriend was in fact cheating on me. But I guess Quinn knew because I lost control of the truck and flipped it upside down. When the cops arrived to make sure I was okay, they reminded me what road I was on. Route 666, Virginia.
This film is said to be one of the scariest films ever made. So scary, in fact, it can actually kill people. Netflix released a new film called Veronica, and it is said to be one of the scariest films to ever be made. This film is reportedly so terrifying that people are turning it off before it even finishes. Netflix themselves have even said that 1 out of 100 people watching this could actually watch the full film. Even experts have suggested that the film can actually kill people who have weak hearts. So watch this at your own risk.
This old lady killed so many people. Baba Anushka, she loved chemistry. And when her husband died, she was like, "I'm gonna make the house into a laboratory and sell potions." So a bunch of girls came to her and they were like, "We don't want our husbands to go to war." And she was like, "I can make them really, really sick so they don't have to." And they were like, yeah, do that. So she started getting really, really popular. But then all the girls were like, "We actually don't like our husbands."